So now let's turn to the world of wellness, global wellness. We know that the world is in flux, in a huge disruption, and wellness is being redefined. However, I actually think that the elements of wellness is essentially that we are chasing a feeling that makes us feel good, whichever definition of wellness that is. And for some people, you may think that wellness, in terms of elements of wellness, can't be engaged with, like travel, which I do agree. But I was looking at the data in Australia behind this, and I was looking at research by the Global Wellness Institute, which we partnered on this study. And so the Global Wellness Institute is a body, a highly credible body, and every year they have a Global Wellness Summit. And they interview and survey all the experts in the field and, asking them what they thought about the trends that were coming in the world of wellness. Now, we know from their statistics that they forecast that it's a $4.5 trillion US dollar industry. It's a huge industry globally, and it traverses so many different sectors of our economy, and it's going to be growing at 6.4%, which is nearly twice as fast as global economic growth. Now, this is prior to COVID, I get that, but still, relative to other industries, it's a huge opportunity. It's a mega trend to tap into. So I was looking at post-COVID, obviously things have changed, but my theory around wellness is that people are not going to stop spending money to chase feeling good. And what we found in Australia was, on the left, I saw that there was actually a 50% growth in what we call injectables, lip fillers in Australia, with a major beauty chain here. And that was very surprising. And a lot of this was to come from new customers. So new people decided, you know what, I'm actually going to treat myself to some lip fillers. Who would have thought that growth would have come post-COVID, but it did. So it shows that people are still finding ways to achieve their definition of wellness. Now, on the right, what we see here is that, yes, we've been locked down. We can't travel internationally. We can't even travel interstate, but we still can travel within our state. And in Australia, this is data that came out of the Ministry of Trade and Tourism. And it showed that in Sydney, New South Wales, there was a 5.4 million increase in domestic visitors in the month of June, which represented 70% increase from the month of May. And the majority came from intrastate. Now, if you put this in perspective, the whole population of New South Wales, which is the state of Sydney, is only 8.3 million. And 5.3 million of that are people who live in Sydney. So it's almost everybody in Sydney travelled. So just because COVID's happened doesn't mean that people are not chasing wellness. Right. So getting onto this research, we did a lot of background research, taking the trends that were forecasted by the Global Wellness Institute, 150 narratives, and then we were boiling it down into a research paper. And part of this analysis involved a lot of data, as you know, petabytes of it. And the key question we wanted to ask was, in the world of wellness, what were the themes that were the most important? What is going to change the world? What are the opportunities that industry have today to ride this mega theme? And our industry research came across 6 key segments. Essentially, I'm only going to cover 3 of them today. I'm going to cover food and nutrition, beauty, health, and I'm not going to cover travel, and I'm not going to cover physical environment. Now, the immense amount of research and analysis that went behind this, it's absolutely impossible to be able to distill in the next 10 minutes, all of that, the depth of that research. So what I'm going to try and do is distill what I find the most important and valuable to you. And obviously you have the opportunity to connect with me after the session if you wanted to find out more. So 150 narratives on one screen across 4 quadrants looks like this. It's quite a mess. It looks like somebody with COVID sneezed on the computer screen. So what I'm going to do is just going to pick out some of the elements, and I'll talk to you as to what I think is happening. Food and nutrition. The narratives that we tested were a selection. So you could see here that they're around food quality, vegan, superfoods, plant-based foods, keto, Beyond Meat, which is the brand that uses plant-based meats or alternative meats, cooking, nutrition, paleo, sugar-free cereal. These are the narratives or a selection I'm showing you that we tested. And this is what it looked like. You can see here, if I just pay attention quickly to what was not important, which is the transient stuff, we're no longer interested in describing food as sugar-free or zero sugar. That is a theme that has passed. And I see advertisements and new products today that still show sugar-free. it's not going to resonate. So they're missing the mark. What we're also looking at here is not interesting is cereal. Obviously, the idea around food and nutrition is not about having a healthy breakfast starting with cereal. When you start looking at the narratives that are deeply important, the stuff around nutrition and wellness, superfoods, plant-based meats, vegan, paleo and keto, we are becoming more and more educated into how the science of food works. We are more interested and engaged with the nutrition behind it, not just the labels of food or of fat-free or sugar-free. And what I found really interesting, which I'll go in a little bit more now, is gut health and wellness and food quality and nutrition. So these two were transformational. Now, what does that really mean? It means that these have dynamic momentum. They are highly relevant to culture and to people. People want to know more about it. People feel very emotive about it. And these are the opportunities to tap into. If I was to show you these emotion wheels, you can see for vegan food and wellness, there's a deep love. The majority of the feeling around this is highly, highly positive. And we're seeing a lot of astonishment or expectation. And when I see that purple there, it means that people are looking for more. So there's no surprise that I see vegan products doing very, very well. Now, keto, on the other hand, also highly, highly emotive and highly positive. Paleo, it is relevant, but not as strong. And zero sugar and wellness, you can see here that it's not resonating. The paleness of the emotion wheel shows that it's not as relevant as it used to be. So it's something that you don't really pay attention to. And I'm going to have to fly through this because I realize that time is crunching and I really want to get through and show as much as I can. Right, so this is a nugget that I want to show you is in relation to the prediction of connecting wellness with pets. What came up through this research was not only wellness for food and nutrition for humans, but actually a concern and a deep engagement in understanding how to keep our pets' food and nutrition on par with humans. In fact, some people feed their dogs and pets better than they feed themselves. Now, this is a prediction that I see will take form in a lot of pet brands that will grasp onto the global wellness mega theme through food and nutrition. So watch this space. Health. Now, there's been a lot of questions around health that have been asked in the last couple of days. What we know that we're all living longer, which is a good thing. And there's no country in the world that has less than an average lifespan of 50 years. So no country in the world has less than 50 years in average lifespan. That is huge. So we're living longer and we're very concerned or we're very interested in how to prolong longevity. But what does that really mean? Well, there's a lot of narratives that we tested here. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but I want to show you essentially there's a lot of narratives that we picked up that were timeless, that were highly relevant. I'm calling out things like Ayurveda, health span, JOMO, joy of missing out, self-care and wellness, sleep apnea makes it there, metformin, microbiome. And what I also found interesting was energy exhaustion and me time are transformational. There's definitely consciousness to really understand energy, me time, unplugging. And it's something I saw in the travel theme as well. People are really seeking the nature connection, the unplugging, digital detox. I really to understand a more holistic view to health and wellness. Now, if we look at here, the two narratives I call out are better sleep. Now, you see here that there's a deep anxiety, a deep concern around having better sleep. Now, this shows an opportunity. If you can tap into this market to help people solve sleep, then you're on a winner. And you've also got energy exhaustion. Look at the feeling behind energy exhaustion. It's predominantly negative, as you would expect. And so again, when I see these emotion wheels, and I've seen thousands of these, it tells a story as to market feeling a pain, feeling a need. And if you can find a way to connect to this narrative, then you're going to remain relevant. Have a look at healthy aging on the left here. Now, when we're considering aging, we're not looking at aging from a perspective of we're getting ready to die. We're looking at healthy aging to prolong our lifespan. How can we age gracefully? And it's not about wrinkles or anti-wrinkle creams anymore. It's about how do we use our food and nutrition? How do we use the wellness concepts to actually live a longer, fruitful life into our age? And meditation is really interesting. Have a look at that. There's absolute deep joy and deep happiness and overall overwhelming positive emotions around meditation. So imagine if you were to, think of creative ways to tap into this narrative, because it's highly relevant. So lastly, quickly, beauty. We're understanding here that beauty is more than skin deep. So gone are the days of topical creams and anti-wrinkle creams and things like that. We actually now have an interest in understanding gut health in relation to beauty. We're looking at glowing skin. We don't want to cover up. We actually want to glow from inside. We want to understand the nutritional benefits that actually formulate to producing beautiful skin. Look at what's not interesting. We're not interested in the science of aging. We're not interested in anti-aging products. We're actually embracing aging. And so if you look at products that are talking to that theme, they're not going to be relevant. People don't really care about that stuff anymore. We've moved on. So quickly looking at these two, you should be an expert now looking at these charts. With cellular beauty, it's actually talking about the science of cellular beauty from a cellular level. People now have an appetite to understand the scientific elements of what makes cells healthy, that produces healthy skin or health and beauty in general. And so on that note, I'm going to leave it here because I'm conscious of time. I want to give you some time for Q&A. So I just want to leave you with a message that the world is your sample, and using the ability of AI and market data around you, we are able to uncover what people deeply care about. And if you tap into those narratives, then you will remain relevant in your business no matter what industry you are in. And if you're interested in a deeper dive in the full study, we have the Global Wellness 2020 report that will be released in November next month.